that those who are the devotees of demigods, they have got an advantage, that they have got material opulence. They have got material opulence. Because the devotees of the demigods, they seek material opulence because that is what demigods can offer. Because demigods are mostly, if not all, mostly they are Sakam Bhaktas. And because they are Sakam Bhaktas, that means devotees who are having material desires as well. Of course, when there is trouble, so for troubleshooting, they rush to Brahmaji and then Vishnu, oh please save us, Hiranyakakshipu, Hiranyaksh, Ravan. So they go to the Lord. But yeah, they also have desires. So that's for those who are devotees of the demigods. So they have got material opulence. And we see that even this question would come. This comes in 10th canto itself here. Srila Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sri Shukdev Goswami that how come the devotees of Lord Hari, they do not have any material opulence. But those who are devotees of Lord Shiva, they have got lot of material opulence. Including Lord Shiva, being a devotee of Lord Hari, he doesn't have even one BHK apartment. So we can't understand that how come Lord Hari's devotees, they don't have anything. And then Srila Shukdev Goswami explains that how come the devotees of Lord Shiva, they have got material opulence, and the devotees of Lord Krishna or Lord Hari, they have got spiritual opulence. Now not that they can't have material opulence. They don't choose to have material opulence. Like once Yudhishthira Maharaj, he told Lord Krishna, please give me lots and lots of material opulence. And Krishna said, well, usually my devotees, they don't ask for such benediction. How come you are asking for material opulence, Yudhishthira? He said, well, somehow there is image in the society that those who are devotees of Lord Hari, they are downtrodden, they are beggars, they are paupers, they don't have any material opulence. I want to tell to the world that actually the devotees of Lord Krishna can also have all material opulence if they want to, but they don't choose to have material opulence. That's why I want to have all of this opulence. They don't choose and they just reject it because that's so insignificant actually. That's why. Like there is one very, very beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he says, Nahi magi deha sukha, moksha nahi magi, na kori parartha na kono vibhutir lagi. So nahi magi deha sukha, I don't want bodily pleasures. Acha, so what do you want? Actually, like this fourth verse, it describes very nicely this verse on which this song is written. Na dhanam. Krishna says, acha, you don't need money? Money is power. Na dhanam. Okay. Okay, you want popularity. Garlands. Jai ho, jai ho. You want that? I can give you. Na janam. Na janam. Okay. Na janam. Oh, got it. Everyone wants that. Sundarim. I can give you that. If you want a handsome guy, you want a beautiful girl, I can give you. Tathastu. Huh? No. Na sundarim. Na sundarim? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Oh, got it. You are from Haridwar, Rishikesh, wala lot. You want moksha. You want mukti. Right? I can give you tathastu. No. Mama janmani janmanishwari. Life after life, birth after birth. You don't want even moksha. Then what do you want? Bhavatat bhakti. I want bhakti. Bhakti. For whom? Tvai. For you. Oh, Maya, test this guy. Other things I give very easily. Dhanam, janam, sundarim, handsome guy, moksha, very easily. Bhakti. Then I have to check this guy. Okay, Maya test. Before Maya's test comes karma's test. Most of the people, they are just wearing their karmas and they say, well, God is taking my test. Excuse me, you're not that special that God would take your test, Baba. First test is done by the karmas. 99.99% lot is done by the karma. And then 0.1% they are tested by Maya. Wow. And then somebody has passed the test of Maya as well. Then Krishna says, oh, smart guy. And then Krishna test. So that way those who are, they are very, very special people who are tested by Krishna. But yes, here we see that those who are devotees of demigods, they have this nature, that they want material benedictions. Excellent example comes in Valmiki Ramayana of Ravan. Ravan pleased Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva also gave him Rudra Veena. He said, okay, any other benediction? Now by the time he saw Parvati, he said, wow, she's so good. Now Parvati could see that this person is going to ask me. And then she was praying, oh Lord, Hari, please protect me. Because my husband is so simple, so innocent-hearted, he would just say, Tathastu. What to do? Oh Krishna, oh please help me, please help me, please help me. And then through this telepathy connection, Bluetooth connection, Wi-Fi connection, so Krishna said, yeah, don't worry. Whatever he asks for, just do. I will save you, don't worry. So he said, oh, so Lord Shiva, one more benediction I have. Yeah, sure, please. I want a beautiful wife. Okay, Tathastu. Parvati, please go. Okay. And then Ravana was so happy. He was carrying Parvati on his shoulder and he was so happy that, yes, finally I got such a beautiful lady in my life. Parvati, wow. Then came a nice Brahmin boy. And he was walking along with Ravana. And he was laughing. Ravana said, excuse me, why are you laughing like this? I am taking Parvati on my shoulder. Are you envious? He said, no. No. Actually, P for Parvati and P for piracy. She is a pirated version. What do you mean? P for Parvati and P for piracy? Yes. Actually, real Parvati, she is not the real one. She is a pirated copy. You are so innocent. You are so simple, Ravana. After all, you are a Brahman. I am Brahman. I can empathize with you. You are befooled by Lord Shiva. How can somebody give one's wife so easily? Think about it. And she is also on their shoulder without any difficulty. She is not having any resentments. Come on. Use your brain. You have got 10 brains, Baba. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Then where is the real Parvati? Real Parvati is with Maidanav. And the name of that Parvati, they have named as Mandodari. But actually she is Parvati. This is pirated copy. Oh. Thank you very much. Parvati, please get down. Go back to Lord Shiva. I want the real stuff. Yes. And then he moved. And then he said, thank you very much, Brahmana, for your guidance, for your help. He said, I'm just a well-wisher, I'm just a well-wisher. Yeah, that's it. So that's the nature of the demigods. They ask something from their deities, and then even they want to enjoy the property, the very property of that person. So those who go to the demigods, especially like the Lord Shiva, for material desires, he gives them sakapat kripa. So that the material desires can be met, and then ultimately they frustrate their material desires, they are frustrated, and then finally they can come to Krishna. And that's why we see whether Banasur or even Ravana, they would invoke the presence of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva comes also. Sometimes it is asked that how come Lord Shiva is fighting against Krishna? Because he knows that Krishna is the Lord. So that people can know that actually he is the Lord. I would be defeated. Like in Ramayana, there comes this episode where there was war between Shivji and Lord Krishna, and then Supreme Lord Vishnu, he just cut off all the weapons of Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva dropped his bow, and this bow fell in Mithila. So that later on Sri Ram would come, and Sri Ram would pick up this bow, while stringing it, break the bow. So that phase when he accepts even some invitations from the demigod worshippers, or even from the demons. Why so? So that it can be established that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Yes. Like in the case of Mohini Murti also we see that Lord Shiva, he is running after Mohini Murti to show that again, that yes, he is the Lord. He is the Lord. Many times he fights with the demons, and then he says, well, I've got nothing to do. Like there was one great demon, and Lord Shiva was fighting with this demon. And then this demon, he destroyed all the weapons of Lord Shiva. And then Lord Shiva was standing just like a devotee standing in Mangal Arati. Standing. And then he prayed to Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna, Sudarshan Chakra expanded as the trident of Lord Shiva. And Lord Krishna expanded as Nandi, so to serve his own devotee. So that phase we see that many times Lord Shiva, either he is prayerful to the Lord or he is serving the Lord like that.